Every time a new product is coming out, companies have discovered that a great marketing strategy is to get it in the hands of creators of that specific niche. For me, I sit somewhere between filmmaking and content creation. I get access to cameras, drones, gimbals, and anything else that could be useful for content creators. Sometimes I get these products a few months early, and sometimes I'll get them a few days early. If they're sponsored, a company is going to ask for specific things in the videos. But most of the time, these companies will just send a product and let us do whatever we want with it. So in this video, I'm going to take you behind the scenes to show you my process that I go through when I'm playing around with one of these new unreleased products to get ready for a launch video. I'm out here in the middle of the desert. Joshua Tree is like right over there. But I came out here to meet up with Braden Toth. What's up?
What's up, man?
So we are gonna just shoot a bunch of random stuff out here. Today is all about just gear and playing with toys. I have a ton of new products that we're messing around with. So we have the DJI RS4, RS4 Pro, shooting on the Sony 16-25 f2.8. So all of this vlog style footage is gonna be shot using that. We have a bike mount on an electric bike. We have his awesome van, my Jeep. What else do I have? Oh, and of course I have the DJI Avata 2. So the goal is today is to just capture footage with all of these products and kind of play with all these other toys. He's got some anamorphic lens, I got some cinema glass, some vintage lenses. It's kind of crazy how much gear we have between us.
It's crazy how it fits in these two vehicles.
Now, if you've never seen Braden's work before, he's a content creator that has a really cool cinematic style. And he often shoots on anamorphic lenses for his Instagram reels. Now, Braden happened to be in the area, so I sent him a message and we decided to link up out here in the desert and make some content together.
Control it.
So what we're starting with is we're gonna do the RS4. We're gonna put it on the electric bike. He's got this setup where it's just on the bike itself, mounted the Hydra Alien arm here. All right, let's see what we can do.
This is the cheapest electric bike I could find on Amazon. A highly rated one. Probably shouldn't have got the long range because it's 70 pounds and it fits in this little garage in my van. Probably too much weight for my van. They have a light version that's like literally half the weight. I should have went with that one. But basically I chopped up car mount from Tilta and just bolted it to the back of the bike and to this rail here so we can put this system on the bike off the front or off the back as well. And yeah, I'll grab the gimbal, get an idea of how it looks.
So you just put a brace on here to hold it.
Yeah, just a couple runs to Home Depot and well, it doesn't really want to line up with this. I mean, we can run it just like without this brace. It doesn't line up if we lock it. But yeah, or I think with these holes maybe it's like a bit of a new design. I'll get my other one, let's see.
So it went from like freezing and snow, now it's getting hot. It's crazy, it snowed here last night. This is ridiculous for spring.
Classic desert.
Classic desert. What lens should we put on this?
I don't know. We have options, that's for sure.
We have options.
We could throw the 14 G Master. We could throw...
Let's see what we got. Yeah, I mean, what's gonna give us the coolest? Let's start with a wide lens. All right, yeah, let's start with a wide lens. Let's play around with something wide. The A9, A9 III, A9 III with the new 16-25. Let's do that.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Why don't we throw that on there? Just because all the new equipment, we should just put it in the most perilous situation, right?
Well, it's pretty rough out here. As you can see, the ground is just a bunch of bumps. I don't know, we might need to figure out a different plan.
All right, let's go film something else. That was a fun little test, but it's getting loud out here too. Let's go find something else to shoot.
100.
So we just got the RS4 balanced. We're gonna do some driving shots instead. And we put an Atlas anamorphic lens on here. Check this out. Show me this setup.
The widest full frame anamorphic is on this relatively light setup, actually. I like how this is feeling.
RS4, I mean, look how small this grip is now. So you got the little grip, and then the whole gimbal itself is all carbon fiber, so it's super lightweight.
Yeah, this is lightweight.
And then which camera are you using?
ZVE1. I have two ZVE1s and one A7C2 as like my photo camera that I never use.
Yeah.
So I might get rid of that and get three ZVE1s. They're like my favorite camera by far. Same sensor as an A7S3, FX3, FX6, but in a like tiny package that literally hangs off the back of the lens mount. Like this is not even mounted. The camera body just hangs off the back. It's more like a sensor block with a nice touch screen, fully articulating. I don't know, I have nothing to complain about. You want to add a mic? There's mics. Go right in the hot shoe here. No cables needed.
I love the ZV1. This is crazy though. RS4, just handling this like a champ.
Yeah, you wouldn't even see anamorphics on gimbals smaller than like a Ronin 2 or like a Mobi Pro 6 years ago. Now we're putting these things on like the mini version of these too. It's just insane.
Yeah, he's able to mount this lens and this camera on the RS3 Mini, which is the smaller version. Crazy that he's able to do that. It's not that much bigger though.
That's like a couple inches on top.
Yeah.
Maybe an inch wider.
Gives you a little bit more range, a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more stability.
Yeah, I feel like with the A9 III on here, it'd be kind of pushing it.
Yeah, definitely with the Mini, you need to be using like small form factor cameras like the ZV-1, but with the A9 III, definitely this RS4 is the way to go. But all right, let's get some shots. Let's see what this looks like.
Yeah, I think if you, oh, was that a big bump for you?
It was a pretty big bump.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't know how many times you want to do that. Or if you can do like a burnout or something, like it's kind of like a circle,
yeah,
and get your rear wheels spinning. Okay. I could probably orbit you as you do that, and it would look kind of sick in slow motion. Going into this way, already spinning, so that once we have backlight, it'll look good, and I can actually see the dust.
So you want me to do
So after grabbing a few test shots, we reversed roles and I took the camera, and we decided to create a sequence with Braden driving his van. And I wanted to see what I could put together using this setup with the RS4, because this is something I want to use in my review when I'm talking about how I work with this gimbal, especially working with these heavier setups.
We just came up the hill from that dry lake bed, and there's like this crazy piece of art. So figured use the RS4 a little bit more and get a couple shots of like giving us a destination so we can create a little sequence out of that footage. So I'm gonna throw on the focus motor, make it a little easier to control this manual lens so I can get some good shots. There we go.
All right.
We are ready to roll.
That's quick.
That was easy. Dude, this place is packed. So many people here. Yeah. That's what we get for coming out on a Saturday.
That's true.
Next spot on this fine tour of Joshua Tree is a junkyard art Noah Purfoy. It's something like that. Basically, this guy created art throughout his property for years, and then after he passed away, an organization took it over and has preserved it. So now you can come out here and go explore all of this art. It's such a cool place just to kind of wander around, and I think it might be cool to get some gimbal shots exploring. So I'm gonna switch up. I'm gonna use the RS4, but I'm gonna put the 16 to 35 on here, get some shots with that, and the A9 III, and he's gonna shoot some BTS using the Anamorphic. So, you know, we're gonna swap setups for a second. All right, so I've just flipped it around shooting vlog style on the gimbal. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip this gimbal into vertical mode, because the cool like feature that is built into the new gimbals, you just pop it off, put it on, it's balanced, it's ready to go. So let's set this up and let's shoot some vertical content of this place. So for what it is, the lighting here is just bright, like desert bright. So not the most inspiring lighting, but I think we've been able to get some pretty cool looking footage. But the plan is hopefully by sunset, we could do a little bit more. Fly some drones, play around with some different lenses. I actually just picked up a couple vintage lenses that I want to test out with the gimbal and really just play with these lenses to see what they look like. So I got a Helios 442 58 millimeter, and then I got a 37 millimeter. It's like an MIR something. Both of them are like old Soviet lenses, and so they give some different effects on the footage. Sony glass, like this lens here, is very sharp, it's very clean. Whereas when you're working with vintage lenses, there's a little bit more character to the footage. Like it might not be as clean, it might have lots of lens flares, it has some not as sharp. They're very good for cinematic looking footage when you're trying to create a specific look. So we're gonna play around with some vintage lenses, see what kind of looks we can get from the footage. But like going out and testing products is fun and all, but really it's better to have like something to shoot. I find that the more I do these videos where I just test products and do a review, like it's fun, but I enjoy actually using these products to make something and then do my review out of that. However, with the time crunch, gimbal comes out in like 2 days, just gotta test some more stuff with it, put a review together, but then I'm definitely gonna start using it on some more projects moving forward, and I'll be able to create more content from working with this gimbal down the road. So we just made it to my parents' house. I'm gonna shoot some footage here. I wanna use the RS4 Pro, mount an FX6 on it with the LiDAR and some manual focus lenses. Really test out this autofocus to see how well it works. And I have this whole set of DZO Vespid primes, which will work well with this setup. But the LiDAR basically is autofocus for manual lenses. So I'm gonna set this all up right now, and get it all synced up, and see how fast it is to do this whole process, and how heavy the whole thing is. So let's test it out. Gimbal issues.
There we go.
Got it?
I think so.
So check out this setup with the FX6 35 millimeter. It's all balanced nicely, and I have the LiDAR on, so now I have autofocus. And I'm just gonna grab a bunch of random shots. If you've seen some of my videos in the past, well, there's the big black box. Give me something to play around with. Test out this LiDAR. I'll focus on some Joshua trees, focus on the house, maybe do some like walking shots. Let's see how this works with this LiDAR on.
All right, now do it with, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh yeah. Crazy.
That's sweet.
Seems like this focus pretty solid. unless you're doing like really fast movements where you like jump into something. Otherwise, it's rad that you just have autofocus with any style of lens. I mean, I'm definitely gonna play around with this a lot more using these Vespid primes and all this, the whole set that I have of them. But it was tracking super well, even with all this like thick brush and all these Joshua trees. But definitely a little bit heavier with the FX6, this whole setup. I'm so used to a smaller setup, but easy to use, easy to operate when you have a little bit more weight. So finally, the sun is starting to set. So we're gonna get to a spot where we could shoot a reel for Braden. And we're gonna play around with, you know, his anamorphics. Obviously those look really good, but we're also gonna play around with my 2 new vintage lenses that I got. Well, I guess are they new or are they old? Vintage lenses. So we're gonna try to shoot some side-by-side stuff and see how they look in this kind of setting. Look at this view. Oh, this is insane up here.
Sure.
What do you think?
Pretty nice. It's a little bit steep coming up here. Probably stay up here, right?
Yeah.
This is nice.
Probably one of the most essential tools when you're out filming is a walkie-talkie. Use this all the time when I'm getting footage, so we could talk to each other when we're at a distance and be able to cue what's going on. He's gonna drive that way. I'm gonna grab a few drone shots of him before we set up for the sunset. This sunset is about to be pretty epic. A little bit of clouds in the distance, but looks like my Jeep is in the perfect spot where we want to shoot. So we're gonna swap. Braden's gonna come here, put his van here, and we're gonna go side by side, vintage lens versus the Atlas Mercury. And we have a wide and a close-up, play around with kind of the look of these 2 styles of lenses. It's a fun little comparison to do. Big price difference, but let's just see what a vintage lens looks like versus a anamorphic style lens.